Are you tired of wasting your hard-earned money on crappy products that just don't live up to their promises? Well, what are you waiting for? Try this.
Introducing Arctic Air.
This is liquid drywall.
Introducing the Bavarian Edge.
Welcome to the show where I save you time and money exposing shitty products. Welcome to Try This. We're going to take a look at this Panasonic RX FD80 1986 Boombox. I'm going to unbox it right here for you. And then we're going to try and see what's wrong with the unit, diagnose it, and attempt to repair it. You can see here when I unpacked it, the CD door was already popped open, and that might be where some of the damage came during shipping, because this thing didn't make it through shipping damage-free. Well, I've got to figure out what that is.
What?
Rattling around inside. That broke off. Hey everyone, Chris here, finally back in the studio. This time we're going to be taking a look at this Panasonic RX FD80. This is an awesome boombox. I got this one off of eBay from an awesome seller. I will put a link in the description box as well, or on screen somewhere, so that you can go check out the rest of his items. He has been just fantastic in making sure that I got the product, that it was not damaged, and that I was just happy overall with my purchase. This is going to be kind of like a tear down video, trying to diagnose what's wrong with this unit and fix all of its little problems. Now, the listing did say that it had a couple of issues, and that was that the fast forward and rewind in the cassette deck didn't work, but it played. And I can confirm that's very true. There was also made mention in the description that there was a rattle when you kind of move the unit. I'm going to put the antenna down for now. See if you can hear it. Yeah, you can kind of hear like a part moving around inside of the unit. Doesn't seem to really affect its operation, although I will say the CD door, the door on the CD player, doesn't always want to stay latched, and sometimes causes the CD to scrape. I've got a CD in right now. You can kind of see the door wiggles around, and I'll get close-up shots of everything I'm demonstrating, but the door like wiggles around and seems kind of loose, and when you stick a CD in, it doesn't always fully latch correctly. This is really difficult doing this all backwards, and then sometimes the CD will scrape while you're playing it. But anyways, FM radio works. I'm going to turn it on for a sec so you can see all of this stuff operating. So here is now, of course, reception isn't all that great, and I don't have my microphone pointing at the unit, but I just wanted to demonstrate that sound is coming out of it. And it does tune and everything here. Of course, I don't get really good reception down here because I'm in a basement and all the studio lights and everything. But yeah, there's another station that's closer by, so I can pick it up.
The Casco Manufacturing Solutions.
Cincinnati's workforce is powered by 96 Rock. Why do all the monsters come out?
Oh, don't want to get any copyright strikes. Trying not to get copyright strikes. But anyways, radio works perfectly fine. CD, I'm going to demonstrate what I was talking about. Well, now see, it doesn't want to Now it doesn't want to open. Okay, there. Okay, so I opened it, and then sometimes you'll go to close it, and see it just doesn't want to, it doesn't always want to latch perfectly. And then sometimes it doesn't want to open, and sometimes when you latch it, I don't think I'll be able to demonstrate the scraping, but we'll try, because sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. But we've got it on CD mode right now. I hit play. I am on CD mode. It is plugged in. Is it just not going to work now? See what I mean? Sometimes it doesn't engage. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like, if it doesn't fully close, you can hear it scraping. I'm going to turn the sound off. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, that little, like, but then if you kind of press in on it more, it's just because the door doesn't fit right. I think something on the door has broken off, but CD works. Goes nice and loud, no distortions. Of course, prior to filming this, I did use my contact cleaner to clean out all of the, you want to spray it in all of the, let's put the antenna down so I don't smack something. You want to spray it in all the like knobs and, slider switches and everything to try and get rid of all that crackly whatever that might be in your audio. I also went inside the tape deck and fully cleaned it. You use, cotton swabs, and you just kind of go over the pinch rollers to kind of get rid of any gunk and residue and all the cap stands, and you want to clean off the tape heads using isopropyl alcohol. I prefer 90%, but it's been kind of hard to get lately, probably since the pandemic started. It's just, I don't know. We sell it now at my work, but it's like these huge bottles of it, and I'm just like, that's too much. Anyways. Okay, now I want to talk about the cassette deck, because that's where usually all of your problems are. Of course, I expected to have to replace belts, and to not have to replace, I'm going to replace it, but to not really have to replace the belt that does playback was fantastic, because I was able to stick a cassette in and be like, wow, it plays, at least verify that. So I'm sure the fast forward and rewind is just, it needs a belt, and I'm just going to replace all of them since I'm in the machine. But, yeah, when playing tapes, we're going to flip it over to tape, and you're going to hear this electrical buzz. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just motor noise. No, it's coming out of the speakers, and I'm not quite sure what it is or where it's coming from. When you're listening to CDs, the radio, or line in, which all work fantastic, you don't get this buzz. It's only when you literally engage the play on the cassette. So I don't have a cassette in there right now, but listen to this. So yeah, there's some kind of an electrical interference. I don't know, maybe there's something inside that I need to clean, or a capacitor went bad. If it's a capacitor that went bad, I'm probably not really going to go in and fix that. It's just sort of, I know it's able to be done, but it can be a pain, and I just don't have the patience for it. That seemed to clear it up a little bit, but we can stick a tape in. I'm going to do this tape. I'm going to stick it in, and we can hit play. And yeah, even with the tape in, you can still hear that noise. And this does it even when I'm not in my studio, so it's not like something from the lights or my Wi-Fi router, or it does it, I've taken it outside and it still does it, but it plays back. All right, enough of that. Anyways, so that's everything that's wrong with it. And that's all the stuff that we need to fix, or try to fix at least, because this is a nice unit. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the sound quality of it, but I think for its size, it's a nice sounding unit. I mean, it's not going to blow you away in terms of sound. And it's kind of puzzling to me that you would think normally, because back in the 80s, CDs were expensive to buy. About $14 a disc, a CD, and then, you know, you convert it in today's money and you're looking at like around $30, which is a lot of money for just a single CD. So you'd want the CD player to sound really good, because you don't want to be spending all the money on the CDs and then stick them in your player and be like, well, that sounds like garbage. Okay, so I don't know how much of the sound quality is due to its age and condition, or whether it really just sounded like this brand new. It probably sounded a lot better brand new, but we're going to attempt to bring it back to as close to new as possible. So let's get into the teardown and try and repair this unit. All right, so here we have the back of the unit. I'm more than likely going to have to access, yeah, there's that thing rattling around inside that's broken off. There are stuff on the bottom here that tells that this unit was manufactured in October of 1986. And I'll get close-ups of a lot of this stuff, like I've said before. Anyway, so this comes from 1986. That tells you how old it is. Battery compartment is like spotless, as you can see in here. But there are there's 2 screws, it looks like. Yeah, 2 screws in there. There's a screw in here. There's a screw in here. There's some screws. There's screws here. So yeah, let's get to unscrewing. Yeah, and I may, you know, cut out of the video some of me unscrewing and taking the unit apart, just because for time's sake, you probably don't want to watch me undoing 500 screws and then trying to get it to come apart. Hopefully this does come apart easily. I've never taken one of these apart, actually. Okay, so see, it looks like I can maybe just unplug this little clip here, this wire, and then there's another one over here, which should allow me to get into, to pull these 2 apart. All right, so I managed to get the 2 halves apart and disconnected. Really nice that Panasonic does these little connector pieces rather than just soldering things, so that I can disconnect and just put this part aside. And then we can take a look at the inside. All right, so here is a detailed look at the inside. You've got power supply, CD player is right there. These are all your volume slider knobs and everything, and yes, I could not just pull those off like I thought maybe I could. Here's your cassette deck with all the transports and everything. I've got to get that out so that I can replace the belts. And then this would be your tuner over here. You've got your, because a lot of people I know are interested in this, there are your speakers with all the specs on them. And there's the other one over there. Let's see what's rattling, if I can get it to come out. Ooh, that CD mechanism is loose because the whole thing is not screwed together. I can't figure out where that loose part was. Oh, aha. I have no clue what this is, too. But this looks like one of the parts. I know it's real tiny and you can't really see it. But that looks like one of the parts broken off. All right, so now in order to pull the cassette deck out, it looks like there's screws here, there's screws here, 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 and here, and this one was a screw that fit through the back of the unit, you know what I mean? Like to hold the whole thing together. This might require me to take this board out, I don't know, because it looks like this board is on top of the cassette. All right, so it looks like these come off, which are part of the, these are the sliders, for the volume and stuff and the balance. Looks like I'm gonna have to try and take this off. I'm just gonna have to really disassemble this. There's a wire, and I know you can't see it, that goes underneath this direction from the cassette deck, and I can't. It's not got enough, it's too taut, not enough slack in it, because I've got to get the CD player out of the way now to slide the cassette over. All right, so here's where we're at. I got the CD player loose. The cassette deck is loose. There is a wire down here connecting the cassette deck to the board that I need to pull off. And then hopefully that'll allow me to flip it over so I can get to the belts. And of course, we're gonna clean out all the dust and crap that's in here. But yeah, this is where we're at so far. I've had to take this off, which is just a piece that presses down on, buttons. This is some shielding, I believe. And then these are the volume and balance knobs or sliders. All right, we have finally flipped the cassette deck somewhat over, and you can see here's our main drive belt. There's a little bit of some residue on it. It's kind of like ew, like this stuff. Yeah, it's beginning to turn to goo. And then this is, I'm assuming, our fast forward and rewind, which is completely just gone. That's going to be a mess to clean out of there. All right, so in order to, looks like, pull off the motor and the back plate to all these pulleys and gears and stuff, I'm going to have to take out those screws there. And then there's another set on the other side. All right, so here we are taking a look at the path of the belts. I'm not sure what the path is of the other belt because it broke completely off and disintegrated, but I just wanted to make reference for that. All right, so $129 later and a trip to A-High Computer and Electronics in Norwood Hyde Park. If you're in the Cincinnati area, highly recommend this place. The owner, Alan, is fantastic. He does fantastic work and even has many times shown me exactly what needed to be fixing. Today he taught me a little bit about soldering, which I've got basic knowledge of soldering, and hence why the $109 soldering iron, because I needed to splice some wires back together, which he helped me do right there in the shop rather than, charging me and making me wait. It was a really fantastic experience, so highly recommend this place. He carries all kinds of little parts and pieces, and, if you have stuff you want to donate to him to get that maybe you don't know how to repair and you just want to get rid of it, he'll take it for parts. But yeah, I had to get this wire stripper too, so I managed to get all the wires back together. We're going to try and reassemble this thing and see how it works. He said the problem I'm having with the compact disc door not closing all the way, it might just be that the latch is kind of worn out. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. Might not be salvageable. But yeah, this has become a very expensive project. So please support the work I'm doing here by becoming a Patreon member. Link is in the description box below. As well as just watching my videos will help. The ad revenue, although small, goes a ways to help pay for the expenses of these videos. And I hope you do like these. So give the video a thumbs up if you do like the content I'm producing. Anyways, on with the repair. Hopefully a successful one. Yeah, so I did want to make mention here is all the information for A-High Computer and Electronics out of Norwood, Hyde Park. You just don't find places like this anymore, especially with the level of customer service that I've been experiencing over the last year or so. All right, moment of truth. Got it plugged in. We're going to power the unit on and at least test out the radio because I don't have the thing fully back together, but I just want to make sure the sound is working and everything. Going to put up our aerial so that I can get some sort of reception downstairs. Let's see, it's on tuner power. Yes! Oh, baby! Success. We have sound. And I can't play you a whole lot of that for copyright reasons, but man, okay, the sound is back the way it should be. At least for the radio. Hooray! Actually, I can test out a cassette with it still all apart. The CD's the one thing I can't test out because the door has to be, you know, there's like a button here and the door has to match up with the back part. But anyways, I can test a cassette here, so let's try that. All right, so you just heard the cassette is working. This is your fast forward, your rewind, and even auto stop should work too. Here it goes. Yes, auto stop. Yes, auto stop works. Hooray! The cassette deck is fully functional and the sound works on both the radio and on the cassette. All right, moment of truth. I'm not expecting this to work because it's not all super tightened down and the CD player is kind of finicky. It likes everything to be real tight tolerances, but we're going to power it on and see what happens. Still doing the scraping. Yeah, see, now the buzz is back in the cassette. I think this is as far as I'm going to probably get. There must be a capacitor or something in here that's probably gone bad. You can hear the... I'm not quite sure how to fix that. And I can't get the CD door fixed, so... It's a bummer when these things kind of go wrong, and that's as far as we can get. Okay, so here are the final results. I brought the unit upstairs because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any kind of weird interference from all my studio lights. And yep, I was correct in that assumption. The buzzing and stuff was caused by interference from my studio lights. A lot of this older electronics doesn't have, shielding against all the RF interference because we didn't have a lot of that back in the 80s. There wasn't really a need for all this shielding from all of our cell phone transmitting devices and Wi-Fi and lights that also put off RF and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, so here we're going to demonstrate the tape still needs work. I did buy belts that were supposed to be specific for this unit, and here's how it sounds. It's pretty awful, so I'm going to have to take it apart and see why the tape speed is not very accurate.
It's yesterday once more.
Okay, so that's the tape speed is screwed up. The CD still scrapes sometimes if you don't have the door closed just in the right position, but here is the CD. Skip to track 8. Okay, so that's the CD. It is working again, and of course, radio works. Okay, so that's my conclusion as to fixing up this unit. That's as best as I'm going to be able to get it. I will try and adjust the tape speed and get it playing more consistently, but who knows if I'll be successful at that. Well, I think that's going to be about as good as I can get this awesome, unfortunately not fully functional Panasonic RX FD80 from 1986 working. The CD door just needs to be replaced, and it's always going to have that scraping noise because it just won't close all the way consistently, and the cassette deck is never going to be perfect because I wasn't able to adjust the belts and everything to perfectly fit right. Anyways, if you enjoy the kind of content I'm doing here, please support the work I do by heading over to the Patreon link that's down in the description box below, where you can get access to member-exclusive videos and content, as well as ad-free content All of my stuff over there is ad-free, so you'll get to see videos just like the one you're watching now, but without all the annoying ads. That's going to do it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that awesome stuff, and click the bell icon to be notified about future videos here on this channel and all of my others. Thank you, everyone, for all the support, and I will see you in the next video.